I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you. And your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless. If you guys want to work with me, the links are in the description. And subscribe for daily manifestation content. How to delete unwanted versions of SP. When manifesting a specific person, one of the most important things for you to understand is that you are God. That's right. You are Lord. Now, I don't mean you created Adam and Eve, but what I do mean is that you aren't the mind, you aren't the body, you are just an eternal being living in a human experience. And when you understand that everything that you are perceiving is with your eyes, when you see them at the grocery store, but they are not giving you any attention. You look at your phone, but there's no notifications. If you saw that with your eyes, that is not enough proof. Okay? You have two sets of eyes. The ones of the body, and then the ones up here. Well, technically you have three, okay? The ones up here are the second one, but the first, above all, is the one you are using to experience everything that you see right here. You wake up, you get out of bed, you experience the feeling of awake. I'm tired, I have to go to work. But who is it that is aware of the fact that you are aware of being tired? Who is the one who is behind the awareness of you realizing that you achieved a goal this week? Oh wow, I took 1,000 extra steps on my Fitbit, even if you guys are still using that. Who is it that is being aware of the fact that you're keeping track of that? There's an awareness of being aware. But how can you be aware of something unless it's apart from you? That is why I say you are God. Because if you can be aware of being aware, and I know you're just like, okay, now this sounds like you're taking me through a DMT trip. I feel like if you just brought me in the wilderness jungles with Joe Rogan and we're going to inhale some ayahuasca. No, this is something deeper. When you understand that you are just awareness and nothing else, that no matter what sensation you feel in this body, you are behind that experience. You're just sitting back like a security guard watching this on their surveillance. Like I've said in previous videos, you can get arrested, and technically speaking, the person who's sitting in prison who committed that crime is not you. You're innocent. Except, of course, the earthly version of you is dealing with the consequences. But at the end of it all, you will go back into eternity in bliss, back to the home where you once were. Like the scriptures say, before Abraham was, I am. And that's who you are. It's written everywhere. So now that you understand the fundamentals of what you are, your identity, when you realize that the second pair of eyes is the imagination, which I don't even like to call it that because everybody thinks about leprechauns and unicorns. All imagination needs to be classified as, for you to understand how to manifest, is replace the word imagination with your consciousness or your internal. Everything that has been going on internally is what manifests. Okay? So when you have a bad day, you saw that before in your head. A week ago, you're like, oh, I'm going to have a bad day. Everything goes wrong at work. So that had to be shown to you. People don't realize they're having imaginal acts all the time. But it's just, we read Neville, we see all these manifestation coaches talk about these crazy techniques and feeling is the secret. And we think that we have to have our visuals in IMAX, but you don't realize that when someone says pink elephant, you think of a pink elephant, but you're not so bothered of if it was in 1080p, 8K. No, there's just an image that pops up. Just like with the memory, when you remember your first Christmas, there's some imagery that pops up. You're not dumb. You know exactly what it kind of, you have an idea roughly of how it was to open your first Woody and Buzz underneath the tree, right? While Aunt Sally was getting hung over under the mistletoe. You have a reminiscence of what it was, but you're not bothered because you can't remember how much wrinkles was on your father's sweater when he was unpackaging the Red Ryder BB gun for you, right? Yet it feels just like yesterday. Well, the same video format that your memories are is the same video format that your imaginal acts are. So when I tell you to delete the unwanted version of your SP, what does that mean? See the version of your SP where when you're passing them in the grocery store, they are giving you the fuck me eyes. When you look at your phone and you see that it's drier than the Sahara Desert, just simply see yourself getting the text. Now, to be fair, I shouldn't even have used that example because you have to stay in your in. You're not, I mean, you can get a text, but they could easily ghost you after, right? But if it's that, if you want that text so bad, your delivery service is right up here. And one could argue it doesn't even exist in here. There's another satellite that is picking it up, and we think we're seeing it up here, but in reality, because of how powerful it is, how do we know if it's not connected to another projector? Which is why what we see in our internal is being reflected out here, right? But all you have to do to delete the version of your SP is to create the version of them that you want, the same way that you created the one that is not giving you the fuck me eyes when you go to the grocery store, that is not texting you and blowing up your phone and wanting to see you. I guarantee you, if you were to ask yourself this question, what would it be like to have my SP chasing me? Something's gonna pop up. No pun intended. Something is going to arise in your imagination, whether it's some sort of imagery, whether it's some sort of idea. And a lot of people like to script, like to plan their visuals. Me, because we've been doing it like this our whole life for crap, I like to just simply allow whatever pops up in my brain to show up, because I truly believe that the first thing that arises in our consciousness is highly linked to our higher self. And why should we judge if Sally is wearing a pink dress even though she says that she only wears black? Our subconscious gets the fucking point. At the end of the day, you're gonna take that fucking dress off, motherfucker. Why the hell do you care? Right? But when we detach from techniques and we understand that we are the technique, that is all that matters. So again, don't underestimate the power of simply asking yourself, what would life be like if my SP was treating me the way that I'd love? Where she or he is begging for commitment, or we are already married right now. What would life be like if we had the best wedding? We are always going to Spain. It's sex fucking in the morning. There's sex while we're cooking breakfast. We almost burn the place down. And there's sex even when the kids are doing homework. And we just blame it on the neighbors because they're too old to, or better yet, we say that we're just listening to heavy metal. Right? You see, even when I said that, imagery popped up. And something else popped up too. I'm just kidding. But you want to know an easier way to ask yourself, what would life be like if I had SP? You want to know what would be an easier way to go to that state? Like I said, whatever you put into your internal will show up in the 3D. Now, before you say, oh, but I tried that already and nothing has happened. Why are you even talking that way if you were already there? You got to understand, the 3D is the past, the 4D is the current. So if you even tell a manifestation coach that I tried this technique and it didn't work, that's because you were doing a technique to get something, not doing a technique to understand that you already have it. You simply do the technique knowing that that's the way it works, and you don't give a fuck of how long it takes in the 3D, because we don't talk about how long it takes if we already know that it takes 0 seconds because it's instant up here. This is the secret of all manifestation. If you can see it up here, hear it, feel it, it's already done. But when you check the 3D, it is the same exact thing as doing a SAT session and saying, I hate SP, we will never be together. I'm imagining her never sending me text messages and always rejecting me every opportunity that we bump into each other. And then complaining and saying, why has she rejected me in the 3D? Because when you check the 3D, it's exactly the same as intentionally manifesting rejection. Because like I said, everything is a manifestation, because all that you do is an implication. If you sigh, that means you have a bad day. If you smile, your subconscious sees it as you're in a good mood, so it will give you more of that pleasure. If you check the 3D after each technique, that is the same thing as you doing a ritual, imaginal act in theta state where you are just saying, please SP, don't answer my text, never marry me, fuck the third party, day, morning, and fucking night. Remember, check the 3D equals intentional manifestation of SP rejection. Understand that the 3D is simply the past. It is catching up to manifestations, implications, assumptions that you put up in here. Remember, you don't have to intentionally do it, because when you check the 3D, when you think negatively, it's already treating it like if you intentionally manifest negative shit. It doesn't give a fuck if you don't understand how reality works. It will manifest for you. So now that you understand how it does work, manifest in your favor. So again, to recap, how do you manifest the version of your SP that you want and you delete the version that you don't want? By accepting that that version of them never existed. And how do you do that? You don't have to do Doctor Strange portals to enter into the multiverse to get the version of them that never rejected you. All you got to do is see them like that right now. And don't be judgmental of what pops up in your awareness when you say that. Don't care if you feel a feeling or not. I know I've talked a lot about impression of the subconscious, but you want to know what impresses the subconscious more? Detachment, not giving a fuck. Understanding that even if you were to go like this, and for some odd reason that means that your SP is obsessed with you sexually, your subconscious is like, oh, now you and them have to fuck ASAP. If you're a woman and you're like, and that means that he must commit to you, then your subconscious is just asleep. But then you say, and they're like, oh shit, put a ring on that finger. Don't be judgmental about the how. You're the fucking judge. It's Judgment Day, and you decide what it's going to be. I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I Am Awareness had to say. I know you're going to be okay.